Hey everybody. So, you ever notice how a lot of the rhetoric coming from Republicans when it comes to the effectiveness of government is always along the lines of, oh, well, government's bad because we have all these problems, and if government's so good, why aren't these problems ever fixed? Why isn't this addressed or that addressed? Why isn't it ever solved? Here's the thing about that. The ideology of the Republican Party is to defund everything in government to the point where it no longer works, thus reinforcing their narrative that the government doesn't work. They claim they want to help people and fix the biggest problems that the country faces, while at the same time voting against any measures that would demonstrably do so. Even if a piece of legislation actually matches their rhetoric. It's not enough for them. It can never be enough, because even if they agree with a piece of legislation, they can't be seen as supporting funding programs by the government. They can't be seen as giving the government a win, giving the Democrats a win. This also accounts for the lack of trust in government that they espouse, but because the government never fixes said problems or reveals the truth about various things that Republicans talk about that aren't even provable to begin with, many of their claims about government being not trustworthy or dishonest or not is non-falsifiable. For example, you can't expect a briefing about aliens or interdimensional beings if they don't exist in the first place. Republicans want everything to be as worse as it can possibly get in order to score cheap political points, likes on Twitter, and shares on Facebook. Because power is the only thing that they care about. They'll pay lip service to oh, the cost of living is so high. Oh, wow. People can't afford groceries. Gas is expensive. Meanwhile, what the fuck are they doing about it? Solving these issues requires transformative legislation. And fuck if they're going to actually introduce anything like that, let alone pass it. All they do is just blame the Democrats. Blame the government, even though when bills are introduced that would actually solve a lot of issues, they vote against them. Even if it's stuff that they agree with, stuff that they campaign on, because they don't give a shit. They are sociopaths driven by greed and hate. That's it. See you guys.